We had another rainy game. We had the wedding gate. We had chaos, cold bats, cold weather, but it's good vibes all here today on PHLY Phillies podcast. Welcome into today's edition of PHLY Phillies podcast presented by Factor. You can use code Phillies50 to get 50% off your first Factor box and free wellness shots for life with any active subscription at factormeals.com/Phillies50. Welcome in. We've got Tyler Zulli, Jamie Lynch, Renee Washington, and Jamie Lynch coming fresh off of joining Cuz on the Gargano show. You had a wellness shot, so you're feeling good, basically, is what you're saying. The sun is shining. Like, the toes are out. Yeah. You had a wellness shot. You're hanging with, reunited with your buddies.
Today I might not have gone. It's going to be a nice day, though, today.
It's sunny, so I
flops,
feel like...
I had plans of wearing the clogs. They weren't at the door. I was running late for school. Getting kids ready for school should be an Olympic event. Like timed and packing lunches and bags and coats. Yeah. And God forbid all the stupid theme things they have going on. And by stupid, it's great for the kids. I hate it. But yeah, you can make that into a sport.
I think the funniest with kids is you have to balance rushing them. But if you go too far, they get upset. Yeah. But if you move too slow, they will take their time. It's like a really weird gamble.
They always do the opposite of what you want or expect. Yeah.
Sounds like the weather. Yes, we had some crummy weather yesterday. Chris Slemmer in the chat first. As always, you're talking about how the game should not have been played. It wasted a Wheeler start. But there's always another game. That's true. Happy Thursday. Ray, happy Thursday to you as well. You're saying you feel like the Phillies actually benefited from poor defense 2 games ago. It cost them last night. That's just baseball. Matt, you're taking... the jabs at Jamie because, as you're saying, you're talking through closest to the pin only counts if you're on the green.
Your friends are the worst people you know, and I got into a debate this morning with my buddies over a golf bet that I thought was a clear win because we were going to bet on it stemmed from this is how dumb me and my friends are, betting on the weather today. And my friend said it was going to rain all day.
I have a phone number you could call.
You bet on the weather?
Well, he was convinced.
And you put money into it, I'm assuming.
Well, here's where the bet came from. Oh, no. He told me it was going to rain all day today because I had said the other day, no, it'll be clear 5 a.m. Thursday morning. He goes, I don't know what you're looking at. It's going to rain all day Thursday. And I was like, so this morning I texted him as a good friend would and said, hey, Dick, where's your models on this one? It's a glorious day out. And he goes, the rain's still coming. Okay. And I said, all right, bet me $10. Double or nothing our golf bet that you still owe me from.
You're such a great friend.
Mm-hmm. And then he basically said, I don't owe you $10, blah, blah, blah. And then I went to Twitter for justice.
I was going to say, naturally, what did go to the Twitter? Go to Twitter and ask people for help. Yeah, exactly. Get some backup. Okay. Provolone John, Matt Deckard, Kim, Spiral Out, Darth Pooh. Nice to have all of you here. Yeah, we are running a little bit late. Matt saying this show, like the Phil's bat today, is not showing up. We had to wait for Jamie because he was finishing up with Cuz on the Gargano show down the hall here. Yes. So we've got plenty to talk about. Yesterday's loss as the Phillies dropped the second straight series to open up the season. We also have to... I want to talk about the wedding gate, though, because that makes me chuckle.
That was pretty funny.
And it was extremely funny that we heard on the broadcast, we heard it going around social media, that the reason why the Phillies game could not be pushed back to today, Thursday, is because there was a wedding. A wedding that was happening at Citizens Bank Park. I think what made me laugh the most was that Citizens Bank Park tweeted out.
The ballpark tweeted.
The actual ballpark was like, listen, there's no wedding happening here Thursday. That's not true.
But you can get that done. That is an option.
To have a wedding at the ballpark.
Yeah, they do that. I'm sure. I know.
Would you want to get married at the ballpark? If you could maybe renew your vows there. You guys gonna run it back at
my
Citizens
wife's
Bank
a pretty
Park?
big Phillies fan, but I don't think she'd be down.
I just think that's not really how I envision the big day.
Yeah, we got married someplace special to us, so I don't think Citizens Bank Park is special to us, but
That's a lot.
I don't know.
That's super.
No.
Yeah, that's saying a lot.
I don't think that would fly in the Lynch household.
Darth Pooh say you're stressing that cord out.
I know, because I was running in here. It's real stressed. I got no extension cord, so I'm just going back to the wall, and I barely made it. So you're right, Darth Pooh.
The wedding thing at the ballpark, or the proposal at the ballpark. The best thing my wife ever did when I was getting ready to, buy a ring and propose, she's like, all right, no, here, here, or here. And it was like, theme parks, ballparks.
Cheesy.
And I was like, you know what? That's great, because then I can kind of start my search from there.
Right.
And it was like the best thing she ever did for me was like, all right, eliminate these, that just take those thoughts and throw them away.
Yeah.
If you had any plans of that, get rid of it.
I love sports. Sports are my life.
But a separation of sport and state.
There's got to be a separation. Yeah. First of all, I just think of as a female, the last spot I want to be is outside at a ballpark with a dress and all that on and makeup and hair. Oh,
yeah. And the proposal at the stadium, do you really want 29,000 people seeing that moment?
No. And also,
I literally did it in like the woods away from like everyone because I knew she would not want to be looked at
I
at
also
all.
feel like when you think about stadiums and arenas, the seats are also so cramped. Like I want to have space. I want you to be able to have all the emotions and be raw. You have to kind of rush through it. It's usually during a timeout or a break or something in between innings. Like it's during a downtime. It just becomes, like you said, it's about now everybody else, and that's too much. So yes, the wedding gate debacle. According to Citizens Bank Park themselves, there is no wedding.
There's
guys.
A Temple alumni event happening today, but I'm sure they could have postponed that.
Exactly.
Look, it was clear that Cincinnati did not want to fly back to Philadelphia at any point. They wanted to get that game in. I think they're being a little bit of babies about it, but it's a Major League Baseball issue, not really the local teams. And then, Cincy, they could have taken the train down from New York or up from D.C. Like, there's ways around it. So,
yeah,
it is what it is. It wasn't ideal conditions for the game last night. When you see JT Realmuto botch a pop-up, like, something's up.
But here's...
Because he's as steady comes.
Yes, I agree. But both teams were out there. And
it's not an excuse.
That's what I go back to, because it is frustrating when you see the weather like that doesn't allow you to go on and be able to play the game. I mean, the weather this entire week has been trash, pure garbage.
It's awful.
But the Reds still found a way to score 4 runs and to squeeze out a win.
Well, 2 of them were on error.
Right,
so they weren't great either. So I think you were just
like, you don't look at yesterday. There's no reason to look at yesterday isolated and want to hit the panic button.
No.
But when you do look at the overall start, I know in the chat you guys are mentioning you're getting rolling already with your thoughts. I see Jason, you're weighing in. What's up, Jason, on Nick Castellanos and his at bats? We're going to get into that. Also, Darth Pooh, you're talking about Cassie and Rojas. We're going to get into that. Listen, we're definitely going to have a chance to kind of go through some of the different players and how they've been performing so far. I know, Jason, you're mentioning you heard the Reds had checked out of the hotel in the morning and didn't have another hotel to go to because of WrestleMania taking over the city.
Oh, that's
that actually could be very accurate. I do understand for the Reds specifically the urgency to want to go on and get back.
Yeah, you want to get home and you don't want to come back when you don't have to.
Exactly.
And I get it, but they're kind of curtailing to the 50-something baseball players than the potentially 29,000 people that would have been in the seats.
Yeah.
So it's like,
but also, if you're
to be expected, I guess.
If you're looking at yesterday's game, I know, great, you get to, the Phillies got to go ahead and get on the train to head down to D.C. Cincinnati gets to get on the plane early. They're already back. But it's so much nicer today. And
so much
I
nicer.
think
I put on sunglasses.
I would have loved, move the game. Shoot, do it at 12 o'clock today. Get it done early.
I think the mistake they made, because they were going to get it in last night, and they were technically right with the window.
Say if your mistake is my mistake.
Why push it back to 4 o'clock?
The worst time.
Yeah,
literally when the weather was the actual worst.
Because it went off at what, 8:04 last night, 8:05. That's a fine time to start a ball game. It's don't push it back to 4 o'clock. Just push it back to a night game right away if that's what the models were showing you. So I think that was their mistake.
That was definitely the big mistake, because
just make it
of course, naturally at 1:05, it was fine outside. It was not raining. It was still cloudy, of course. It was an overcast, but there was no rain. And by also pushing it back, it just prolonged the inevitable. The weather was much better at 1 o'clock. than it was at 4 o'clock, than it was at 8 o'clock. But hey, at least they got the game in. And I think if you had started at 1 o'clock, you actually could have gotten the game in without having to push it back. And now the eventual start time's like 7 hours later.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
that was interesting.
Judging by Trey Turner in the batter's box last night, they had very little want to be there.
Yeah.
Like,
that's one of those games that it's like, let's just get this over with.
Nick and Trey were just like, get me out of here. Nick Castellanos looked like he was carrying a damn piano on his back in the field. And we'll get to his predicament with the new out-of-town scoreboard in a minute.
Yeah.
But, like, Trey Turner was just, like, flailing at pitches.
Yeah.
And I'm not worried about Trey Turner offensively. I don't think he's going to go into a slump like he did last year. But, like, was that the best baseball product you could have gotten last night? No. They should have just pushed the game to today. Could have done a 1 o'clock game.
Outside, exactly.
You would have had more people in the stands.
Everybody would have enjoyed it more. The players,
since
the
he's
fans.
Still home at night.
Right.
You know, they're home by 10 o'clock.
It's not a far flight at all.
No, we're in the air like 45 minutes.
Exactly. Like, it's just rough when you look at today. And I know I walked outside today, I'm like, oh, ditch the jacket. Like, bring on the shorts and short sleeves. It feels so much warmer just because there's no wind, no rain. The sun is shining. Such a missed opportunity, especially since weather like that, it's brutal. I don't even want to go to work when it rains like that, let alone be outside.
Can I go old man here for a minute?
Oh, what's wrong with you?
When did baseball players become so soft? With the shiesties and the neck warmers and the ear flap hats. Yeah, I'm saying it, Tyler. I see you rolling your eyes at me. Like, come on. Was it that nasty out last night?
Supposed to stay warm? What do you want them to do? Freeze?
Yeah. Yeah, tough it out a little bit. Like the shiesties. Come on.
If they really are the ones that insist on playing, as Barbara's saying in the chat.
Barbara's got my back here.
Barbara's saying that it was the Phillies that were insisting on playing. If they really wanted to play, then go suck it up and play.
Yeah, like, JT probably has a tea time at Pine Valley today. Right, he didn't want to lose.
I just think if you're going to go on and play yesterday, you need to go on and play as best as you can. Like, don't be out there just ready to end the game.
Everything about that
especially since you're already not starting off the season well.
Yeah.
And you just go out there and you look miserable. And obviously I get it. The weather was miserable, which is why we were all pushing to go on and postpone the game in the first place. But if you want to have it, then go out there and at least look, I mean, I'm not saying you got to be smiling and all happy and upbeat, but yeah, I don't know. The whole
be better.
The whole apparel and bundled up and stuff.
I don't know. Like shiesties in baseball just
soccer players would never.
Like they just don't mesh.
Soccer players wear gloves on the pitch by themselves.
There's nothing wrong with wanting your fingers to be warm. We wear gloves and
they can't
no
use
long
their hands
sleeves.
for that. I get the shiesty.
And you just wear gloves and no long sleeves.
You guys are dreadful today. Do you both wake up on the wrong side of the bed?
Yeah. I woke up feeling great.
Let
the sun
these guys
was shining.
be warm at least.
You know that
in between innings. You got
my mood is based off of the weather. And
get the quarterback
weather,
jacket and just warm up.
That's the other thing. Look at like football. Football's out there in snow. You see guys in the snow with short sleeves on, and they just warm up on the sideline with the big jackets. They take those jackets off and they're ready to go. Whoa.
By the way,
baseball's out there.
The Bryce Harper working the saw glasses. What? Like what? And Kruk probably said what was accurate, that in the wind, like his eyes probably like tear up. So like
my eyes
he came up to at bat with the wood shop glasses on, and I was like, "What is going on? We got shiesties and neck warmers and wood shop goggles. Like, where's the game I fell in love with, Tyler? Back in my day.
You have Charles Barkley.
Yeah, no, I'm kidding.
You have become
that old man yelling at clouds today.
Davey's become the game is so soft today.
Yeah, we're wearing rec specs. Come on. Come on.
Back in my day, guys would take all the bad weather, the rain, like a champ.
Yeah.
Now they're out there needing rec specs and neck warmers and things.
Shiesties.
What are you going to tell me next? You walked uphill both ways to school?
I did. I walked up the stairwell here today.
No shoes on.
Backwards.
Snow. Uphill both ways.
Jeez.
Oh, man. Good times. Good times. Well, listen, I will say I would have liked to see a lot more. And let's talk specifically about the game and not the weather. Let's get off of our weather.
I do see sunshine.
Point. It is sunny out today. It's beautiful. It's fantastic. Nice to have all of you guys here in the chat. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button. Ray, Dave, K-Red, Hypothetical Man, Randy, Barbara, everybody that's here hanging with us, hit that thumbs up button. Let me tell you about our friends over at Factor Meal Kits, by the way, who can also make sure every day is a lot less stressful and a lot less worrisome With Factor Meal Kits, they allow you to have the no mess, no stress, don't have to worry about prep, going to the grocery store, and most importantly, the questions you all know I hate. What do I feel like eating today? What do I have taste for? What's for dinner? What's for lunch? Dad, what's for breakfast?
Ugh.
Tired of that question. You don't have to worry about it over at Factor Meal Kits because they take away the stress of having to worry about what you're eating for your next meal. Now, over at Factor Meal Kits, and we all have had a chance to now have our Factor Meal Kits delivered right to our doorstep. And they are correct. What they say is not a lie. It is the truth. In a nice box where they had the ice there for you to keep it cold and fresh. It's never frozen. It is fresh. You put it in your refrigerator. You never freeze it. You never freeze it. You never freeze it. So this is not one of those TV dinners. Instead, it's something fresh. You pop in the microwave in 2 minutes and it's ready to eat. Restaurant quality, chef quality, dietitian approved, because they have all different types of meal planning that fits whatever your lifestyle is. 35 different options every day on their weekly, or every week, on their weekly menu. Calorie Smart, keto, if you're, looking for a vegan diet or a veggie diet, or myself, Protein Plus, give me all the protein. Whatever it is, Factor Meal Kits has meal plans that accommodate your lifestyle. They also have 60 different add-ons every week, like breakfast, on the go, lunch, snacks, smoothies, beverages, just to help you stay fueled and ready to go all day, every day. So make sure to take advantage of checking out the deals over at Factor Meal Kits. Tailor it to your schedule. Customize when you're going to have your food delivered, what you want delivered, and you can do all of that at Factor Meals. And they're also celebrating Earth Day. Not only are they protecting your stomach and your body and making you feel good and full, they're also protecting the earth. All month long, you can look out for the Earth Month Eats badge on the menu, which provides you with the lowest carbon footprint meals. Factor Meal Kits got you covered, protecting our earth and protecting our food and our stomach. So head to factormeals.com/Phillies50 and use code Phillies50 to get 50% off. That's code Phillies50 at factormeals.com/ you guessed it, Phillies50 to get 50% off.
Well, let me tell you about a company that's based right in my backyard. They're based in Fort Washington, Pennsylvania, and our friends at Trumark Financial Credit Union have recently joined the fray here at PHLY, and we're so excited to have them on board. They're a Philadelphia company, and they're based right here in the area. You see them pop up all over the place. And the best part about this credit union is when you join it, you become a credit union member at Trumark Financial. You become a part owner, which means profits come back to you instead of going out to shareholders. Trumark Financial has better rates, lower fees, and a better return on savings and more flexible options overall. And of course, the same digital tools and technology that everybody is used to with those other faceless, nameless, not in the area banks that don't care about you, but Trumark cares. They're right here in the area. But the best part is Trumark Financial is local. They're headquartered right by me in Fort Washington, and they have 24 branches across the Philadelphia area. And they are deeply rooted in our community. They serve our community and only our community, so their investments and programs help the people right here in the Delaware Valley at home. Becoming a member of the credit union has so many benefits, like being cared about, number one. And being a customer at a bank, it's, you go to these other places, they don't care about you. They're not invested in the community. Trumark Financial cares about the community. So head over to trumark.com/PHLY to learn more or to find a branch near you. That's trumark.com/PHLY, federally insured by the NCUA.
Jamie.
Are you okay?
Renee.
It was very depressive.
Where did I go wrong? I lost a friend somewhere along in the bitterness.
Now she's singing The Fray?
He said The Fray.
And Tyler knew it right away. I wouldn't have gotten it.
You said The Fray in your read, and I instantly was like, step one. You say we need. Okay.
I don't think I could tell you any Frey songs.
Yes, you could.
I would recognize them,
but
I couldn't name like their big hits.
They're one of those bands that like you don't know, but you know.
Oh, I know them, but I couldn't sing a lyric or name a title.
Yeah, How to Save a Life was pretty massive.
Should I play it right here on the computer?
I would not. I really would appreciate it if you didn't. I'd like my paycheck.
Step one, you say you need.
Well, now we might get it anyway.
Oh, great. Here we go.
Demonetized.
Well, I would like to know how to save the Phillies. Listen, There's some frustration, as we all know. The Phillies are 2-4. They started last year 1-5. They dropped both series to start off the season, just like last year.
The NL
blah, blah,
East
blah, 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 blah,
sucks.
blah. But they also have had the first game of the season postponed. They also had yesterday's debacle of a weather. I can justify some aspects of their start. First of all, it's only 6 games, guys. It's only 6 games. But also, with the weather and things, there's a lot that you can always blame. But this is a stretch now. The Phillies obviously on the road. They went down to DC, and starting tomorrow in the series against the Nationals, the Phillies play 26 games in 27 days. It's a lot of games in a short amount of time. Obviously, this is baseball season, guys. No days off. So today is that day off. And then now on the road, this is the chance for them, I think, to get in the win column. They've got a really good stretch of games coming up, and I'll break down I have the breakdown of who's they're playing and things like that. But it's a lot of teams that did not make the playoffs last year, most importantly. So this is a time for the Phillies to get going. There's one guy that did get going and has been looking good. It's Slim Schwarber. Kyle Schwarber, he's saying he's feeling much better. As we know now, he's been dealing with in the past a lingering knee issue. Didn't require surgery, but it was enough to cause some inflammation. As someone that's got bad knees, I do understand that when you every once in a while step wrong or have a weird tweak and you just have to think about it. And that's one thing that as an athlete, one less thing to have to stress about, worry about, makes you be able to focus on playing your game, just having fun. And obviously being an everyday DH, not having to worry about playing in the outfield, although Rob did mention if needed, Kyle could go in the outfield.
Let's avoid
but
that.
But let's not. Let's not and say we did. But Kyle Schwarber's...
That is a throwback to the 90s. Let's not and say we did.
Let's not and say we did. But he's playing better. He's moving quicker. Also are ready to start off the season to have, to record... In 6 games, he recorded a walk. He's had a stolen base. He's had 2 homers. He's hit, 7 hits. 5 of those are singles. Kyle Schwarber batting a .280 with his 27 hits and 25 at-bats. Moving quicker. And honestly, we've talked about him having a slow start in the past. And this year, Kyle's telling us, no. I'm not that Kyle Schwarber anymore. And he's a bright spot consistently. So yesterday, even though the Phillies obviously lost, and Kyle Schwarber's home run was the only run scored, I was like, okay, Kyle, you're at least staying consistent.
Yeah, he's having a very good start, which is rare for him. It usually takes, towards the end of April, early May for him to really heat up. If he can, kind of break the back of his baseball card here and just be consistent all year long, I mean, that's a huge, huge plus for the Phillies. I feel like I've seen more singles in the first week than I saw in like a month's period last year with him. So, and he's not jeopardizing his power on top of it. So
right.
I don't know if it's just the weight loss, his knees are feeling better. He doesn't have to worry about the field, whatever it is. Schwarber is off to a hot start, and it's #good for the Phillies.
#good. There's a really, oh wow, oh my.
#.
Oh, that's what that is.
Hashtag.
That's a hashtag. Okay.
Yeah.
It's happening. Yeah. So, I didn't realize I was getting people that were encouraging me to sing. Let me keep going.
No, Tyler, can you block those comments?
That's all right. We don't have to. And in fact,
don't block our friends in the chat. Thank you, Spiral Out.
Just block the comments.
Go ahead and try it. See what happens.
Step 1. I can't think of the words now. How to save
That's all right. You got your entire thing just got censored there. So
was it a beep?
Me?
Oh yeah, you can't hear it, but you got censored the entire time.
I thought you would make my voice higher.
No. You just got censored.
You didn't even let me say the words.
Nope.
You just blocked me out.
People saw you, and all they're gonna hear is the big beep. Yep.
Oh wow.
Yep. That happened.
I thought you were gonna make me a chipmunk or something. Will wanted me to keep singing. It's okay.
I can do that too, but.
All right. So Kyle Schwarber has. Please don't change my voice. I'm sorry, Tyler. Kyle Schwarber has definitely been a bright spot. And listen, we all know when you're feeling good, when you've seen the hard work pay off, you've lost some weight.
Maybe it's the vapor
you're moving
jerseys.
Quicker. Maybe.
Maybe it's the armpit technology in the vapor jerseys.
He was looking summer before he put those on.
Maybe the vapor jerseys just suit him.
Oh, maybe he's able to even run a little bit faster with the vapor jerseys because he feels lighter on his feet.
Yeah, look good, feel good, play good.
Between losing pounds and the vapor jerseys, maybe that is it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And tomorrow, let's not forget, Renee, The big reveal.
Oh gosh, how could we ever forget?
So excited.
That
Everybody
we're
have
getting
their
to
alarm
finally
set?
see. Oh my gosh,
The
it's
City
happening.
Connect
The City Connect
jerseys.
jerseys drop, and there's all this fun partying happening from like 3 to 9 down, where everybody can hang out flying Hawaiian.
All right,
and
if I set the over-under at
yay,
117 people there, what would you take?
117. Under.
Tyler?
Well, the weather's supposed to be decent.
Yeah, I think
they're in DC, aren't they, for the game?
Yeah, but there's a lot of like representatives going from what they were saying on the broadcast.
Employees.
Yeah,
they're not included.
No, they're having a lot of former Phillies that are supposed to be there.
They don't
supposed
count.
to be like,
I think
like
people will
like
go.
fans.
People will go to see those former
like
Phillies.
those are the people that they're
like
not
going for the jersey.
Correct. I had the list.
So over or under,
I
Tyler?
lost
I'd take the over.
Okay.
You probably get about 250.
Who's going to be there? Juan Samuel and Dave Hollins and
Larry Anderson,
LA.
I think Mickey Morandini.
Mickey Morandini.
Dang, Mopar. He said
What?
my singing's like a hearing test. You have to raise your hand.
Keep it up, Mopar.
I'm also
You're
like
doing great
losing
work
my
out
voice
there.
low key. So that's
Mhm.
it. That's
Yeah.
All right. So there's the positive, Kyle Schwarber. There are a couple others. Once again, I find myself now having to list the positives, which I'd like to not have to do. I'd like it to be at a point where I don't have to intentionally remember and think of what are the positives from the Phillies game.
Yeah, nobody on the lineup's really lighting the world on fire.
No.
I mean, two-hit Witt is struggling. I have faith he'll come around. Castellanos, look, I got to give you a positive on him. His chase rate is down 1 percentage point through 6 games.
Not on breaking balls. It's not.
Because his chase rate I saw this morning last year was 41%.
I did see that.
This year it's 40%, Tyler.
Yeah,
so
and
why are you so negative, man?
Trey's has gone down. He was
His dropped a lot,
35% to
actually.
20%. That's huge. Of course, only 6 games in, so it's a small sample size for sure.
But the Castellanos
I did
at
see
bat last night, I don't know if I put it in our Discord channel. He started out 2-0, hitters count. And then strike one outside the zone. He takes it, gets called a strike. You know it's over at that point.
It's a wrap.
Because Montas, who was really good last night, went breaking ball for strikes 2 and 3, both low and outside the zone. And like once he gets that one strike on him, you know he's going to take the bait. You just know it. And Tyler, if you can break down those numbers you're putting on.
Actually read them for the
it's very
people.
tiny for my.
So I was just trying to
like
put it on
zooming
the the bug basically without you guys having to be
zoom in,
compromised there. These are breakdown by the pitches that Castellanos has seen this year.
no.
He's seen 60 fastballs, 32 breaking balls. They call it 13 off speed. I assume off speed is primarily changeup.
I would think.
But he's seen 32 breaking balls this year, whether it be slider,
What's the
changeup.
chase rate? 65%?
It's the whiff rate is 68.4%. And his put away rate on breaking balls is almost 30%.
Almost 69. That's
Which
a
means
shame.
he's effectively swinging through 7 of every 10 breaking balls he sees.
That's not great.
Now, last night and me and Renee were talking about this beforehand. That was that was probably a bad example because he walked twice.
Yeah.
In yesterday's game, but like the chase rates are bad, the whiff rate is bad. The expected batting average on breaking balls this year is 0.20.
Wow.
It's only 32 pitches and it's only 6 games,
It's a small
but like
sample size, yes.
but the numbers are telling you that he has not changed the down and away. And I'm sitting here thinking, I don't know about you guys, but I'm sitting here thinking I'd never throw this guy a strike again.
No, why would
Yeah.
you?
It's you know what the biggest thing is, as much as there are guys struggling like a Johan Rojas, there's a
we'll
Nick
talk about
Castellanos. We'll definitely get to him. Nick Castellanos. There's a lot throughout this roster when you look at the offensive production. We had talked about it prior to Bryce Harper's 3-homer game, including his grand slam. That was the one game where we actually saw it was like the light at the end of the tunnel because Bryce was back, but still Nick has consistently been struggling.
You just got to
The
hope
Phillies
that-
are at a 2.23 batting average through 6 games, which is 20th in Major League Baseball that they're hitting. And it's overall, you have to hope a lot of it is the weather,
Well, no, I think the bigger hope
the
is that
early part of the season.
he's just in one of his cold streaks and not falling off a cliff in his early 30s. Because look, your vision gets worse in your early 30s. That's just like facts.
My vision is fantastic.
Yeah, sure. You couldn't even read those on the screen.
I
there.
could read them.
I
chose not
So
to.
the bigger hope is because I still believe Nick Castellanos is as streaky as a baseball player gets. His hots are high, his lows are low. So you have to hope that he's just in a low and not getting significantly worse as a baseball player?
Yeah.
And we probably won't have that answer until the end of April, maybe early May. But if he stays on the course he's on, I mean, there's a really good chance he's just getting worse as a baseball player. Hopefully he hits a 2-week stretch where he's Castellanos again.
Correct.
To be determined. You know, it's not good. And I don't know if you guys watch post game. If you're a real sicko like me, I watched it. Rob Thompson said that Nick told him the other day that the new out-of-town scoreboard, and I think he means strictly defensively, although it wouldn't shock me if offensively, like flashing lights, you know, out of the corner of his eye are distracting.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're timing the advertising, like slide changes and like how much the light is actually, because that is a big difference. Like it wasn't an LED screen before, and now it's a huge LED screen. Yeah. I think he meant defensively. That's what Ricky Bowe and Ben Davis were kind of speculating on, that maybe it caroms off the wall differently. Maybe he feels like the wall's on him quicker than it has been in the past because of the lights, whatever it may be. But apparently Castellanos told Rob Thompson the other day that the new out-of-town scoreboard is messing with him a little bit.
Yeah, and
so
look,
it could be an excuse, but I also kind of buy it.
We saw...
So it's like...
Listen, we know that there are sometimes... on the business side, these moves that are made to sell money, to make money, and it does impact the players.
Well, it's aesthetically non-pleasing.
It's not. And it's huge. It is bright. That's why you have to even be mindful of like flashing lights and strobe lights and things, because they do impact everybody's
I would think they are doing
totally
it
different.
On downturns of the game, that they're sliding
but
and changing
just like they were able to temporarily make an adjustment after Bryce went flying into the dugout and they added extra. Yeah, they already fixed that. They said there's more to come for that, actually, that they just did a temporary fix for now. They could change that if that's a problem. And I'm sure, like, there are some people whose eye sensitivity to flashing lights and bright colors.
Well, if you're a dumbass like me, you're easily distracted.
Right, or that part.
You know, like if there was a flashing LED screen right there and I was talking to you and it started flat, I'd be like, squirrel. You know, like I'm like a dog. So, like...
We should test that out.
Yeah, like, it does sound like an excuse, and I get why people are going to, like, criticize it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I kind of get it. Like, I don't know. To me, the out-of-town scoreboard should be old school, where you slide in the numbers. If you want to make it like the little digital lights, so you don't have to do that, fine. But like, that's part of the like one of the old school things about baseball I still like. Like Fenway and Wrigley are awesome that they have guys in there like physically changing the scores. When you change to this massive LED screen, and then ownership says, "Yeah, well, you know, our payroll's up, so we need more advertising." It's like, all right, you said the quiet part out loud. Like, I didn't need to hear that. Like, we all know the reality that, yes, you wanted more money coming in because you're spending more money. That's fair. But, like, you don't say that.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's,
I think the out-of-town scoreboard sucks now.
It is all about business and money. And I know in the chat, Matt is agreeing with you that, you know, baseball players are soft because they already had to raise the railing higher because of Bryce. Yeah. And now this. You know, I just think that there are some things, whether it is the Fanatic products, as much as we're joking about it, the New Jerseys or whatever it is, that keep getting rolled out for our business. There you go. You unplug that computer.
Tough. Wow. Baseball player.
Yeah, battery. There are things that get rolled out to try to enhance the overall game experience, fan experience, whatever, income, sponsorships, whatever it may be, that sometimes truly just aren't the best
that had nothing to do with fan experience.
But
that
not
was
at all.
Strictly dollar bills.
But
and
also,
I get it, but don't say it.
I know Randy was saying in the chat earlier, blink twice if you've got the City Connect jerseys in here with us. We don't have them, but we do have our new Defend the Bank shirts.
I didn't know you were wearing yours today. And
I know, we're twinning. We're accidentally twinning. Oh, wow. And you guys can check out our Defend the Bank shirts.
Belongs to Frank. It's a movie reference.
Oh no, I'm trying to just share with them about our shirt. We also have a Sunday Funday shirt. You can check out the new releases at PHLYlocker.com and get yourself some new Phillies merch in honor of the start of the season. Maybe everybody buying some shirts is going to help the Phillies win more. If you guys are rocking some great PHLY.
I think
who's got beads? Tyler, you got beads?
Guys, I think we should get a counter, and instead of it being the countdown to opening day or whatever we've done in the past, it should be the count up to how many days in a row that either I or Jamie has made a Billy Madison reference.
Yeah, just say Billy Madison. It's the Great American Ballpark.
It was Billy Madison?
It's Frank's shirt.
I actually didn't even hear you. Wait, what? What scene is that from? When he's
talking to his dad in his office, and he's wearing the half sweater T-shirt look. And something about the academic decathlon comes up, and he's like, and Billy's just like in the corner, like being an idiot. He's like, this is actually like Frank's shirt. And he holds it up, and Frank has his name written on the inside of the shirt. Come on.
Okay. I need to watch Billy Madison again, clearly.
Clearly.
I thought you were just flashing people to get some beads, like we're, you're just showing off your shirt.
I have seen that live in person on Bourbon Street, though. It's quite a scene.
Flashing people.
Not me.
Oh, I was going to say, what are you trying to tell us,
I've thrown some beads.
Well, you know where you can also take advantage of some great deals and some flash deals? That's over at the GameTime app. The GameTime app, guys. You can download the GameTime app today. They've got last-minute exclusive deals, flash deals for you where you can have a chance to get really great prices, have an opportunity to see your seats before you get to the concert, the comedy show, the game, whatever it is you're looking to attend. And they've got a lot of sports and entertainment tickets for you. What I like about the GameTime app is that they also give you alerts when new tickets drop. So I have an idea of, Nicki Minaj was in concert. WrestleMania is happening. They tell you all the latest that's going on in your area that you can buy tickets to. Now over at the GameTime app, as a ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, because we are in season now, you also can take advantage of their offer It's specifically around opening day because we are still only less than a week in to the season, which is wild to think about. It feels like a lot has happened in this first 6 days. But from now through April 14th, if you use the code FIRSTPITCH, FIRSTPITCH, you get $20 off your purchase. So you have our usual code, PHLY, that gets you $20 off. But you can also use a different code, FIRSTPITCH, FIRSTPITCH, gets you $20 off your purchase as well. And you can use that $20 off any purchase of $150 or more in the GameTime app with that code. And make sure that you can have a stress-free process buying tickets. We cannot guarantee the game won't be stress-free, but we can guarantee buying tickets will be. And then, of course, when you show up, now your tickets are right there on your phone, easy to scan, get inside. You don't have to be the person in line fumbling to find your tickets in your purse or your wallet,
My wife.
or look at us pull up the tickets on your phone, but dealing with Wi-Fi issues. GameTime app, download it today. Use that code PHLY for $20 off, or now through April 14th. First Pitch gets you $20 off your purchase of $150 or más.
Let me tell you about our friends over at Empire Today. Everybody knows the jingle. That's because they're one of the best. They've been around forever. And right now, if you head to empiretoday.com/PHLY, you, my friends, can get $350 off new floors. And if you're an old curmudgeon like me these days and you hate going to stores, and especially big box stores where nobody helps you, you just feel like a rat in the wheel, and nobody's paying attention to you. Well, Empire, they're not about that. They're going to come right to your house, and they're going to bring you that beautiful in-home experience. With their virtual floor designer, you get to see your house, how your new floors are going to look against your furniture, with your wall paint, your kitchen, all of that. You'll get to see it right there in your house. And Empire Today makes it simple. They're only going to bring you the best, the stuff they would put in their own homes. Because if you've ever gotten samples from any home rehab place, whether it be paint or kitchen or whatever, they kind of beat you down with like 1,000 samples, and it leaves you going like, well, I don't know what's best. I don't know. Like, I'm just a dumb homeowner. I don't know. Well, Empire Today goes, no, what we bring you is the best. We're not going to give you 1,000 samples. We're just going to bring you stuff we would put in our own homes. And with your virtual floor designer, you get to see it in your space without even leaving your home. And they pride themselves on that shop at home service. They're the best. They've been around forever, and they service their own warranties. So if an issue does arise, just call Empire. They service all their warranties themselves. So you're not going to have to track down some manufacturer's phone number and have to be on the phone for 2.5 hours to get an answer of, we can't see you right now. Empire, they're going to be right on it, and they'll service it themselves. Schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive $350 off discount when they use the promo code PHLY. Restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com/PHLY for details.
Alrighty. What an interesting,
I'm just a dumb homeowner. Okay. Thousands of samples. I don't know. Well, Empire's just like, here's the 6 best ones. Choose one. And you're like, oh, okay, that's a lot easier.
Well, nice to have you guys here, friends, as you get to deal with all the chaos of today. And all the fun that we always have here on the show. I love your impressions, Jamie. They're spot on. They're super, super entertaining.
That's how I go through life.
But Anthony, Ara, what's up? Kim, Mickey, Mopar. Let's continue unpacking some of the information, and everybody else in the chat, of course, some of the other numbers and stats as we are wrapping up here today. So the Phillies have only scored or have just struggled immensely in the games that we've seen so far, especially Zach Wheeler, who actually pitched well yesterday. He did, unfortunately, in that game. Yeah, I mean, you allowed 3 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, struck out 10 in 6 innings. You had a .75 ERA after 2 starts, after pitching 6 scoreless innings we saw opening day. And unfortunately, on the reverse side of that, the Phillies bats have struggled tremendously. So Zach sits at 0-2 behind his good start. They're batting a .223 and a .660 OPS in 6 games overall. They have struck out 54 times in 220 plate appearances, which is about 24.5%. And they've walked 22 times, which is about 10%. And I know Rob was mentioning how, as we know, the big hits haven't been coming, but, that the Phillies are better than what they're showing. Yes, they are. But he also is saying he's got all the confidence in the world in them, and they're just off to a little bit of a slow start. But they're not shaken or stirred. They're just chilling right now. And that was a really bad Drake reference. It was a metaphor.
A Drake reference? You thought I was going to get a Drake reference?
Drink.
Drink.
Drink, not Drake the rapper.
I was like, I'm not going to get any.
I mean, I could have dropped a Drake
unless
reference
you went
there.
like
Jump
man. Like, that's all I got.
But they're not getting frazzled by this because it's still early.
You a big Degrassi High fan?
No, I actually was not.
Oh, okay. Tyler?
No, I was not
the
a
Degrassi
fan.
guy?
No.
So the Phillies, the numbers have been rough. As we talked through Nick Castellanos specifically, he's obviously been struggling. Whit Merrifield is batting at a .77. Johan Rojas is hitting at a .067.
Really good at bat from Whit.
Whit at a .077.
Really good at bat. 12 pitch at bat.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler, it reminded me of Bryson Stott, where he was just like flailing at things that were probably going to be strikes, fouling them off, staying alive, and then 12th pitch, boom, a little bloop single to right center field. Gave the Phillies, late inning life. I don't think anybody was confident they were going to win it there, but at least Whit gave you a good at bat late. That was encouraging to see. So the offense has sucked. I mean, there's no sugarcoating it.
They've been struggling.
Can we talk about your boy? I have a date. I have a date in my mind. Today is April 4th.
It is 4424.
If by April 18th, 2 weeks from now, your boy Yo-Ro has not hit a ball out of the infield, he has to go down to Lehigh Valley. Get ready to learn Amish, buddy. And this isn't because
you said get ready to learn Amish.
It's the old Adam Silver meme where it's like, get ready to learn Chinese, buddy. Ready to learn Amish, buddy. And look, somebody's going to see this and be like, you're a Rojas hater. No, I am not. I like Johan Rojas. I want him to succeed. The dude is lost in the batter's box up there. Change his swing mechanics, whatever you want to say. He's had a whole offseason. At some point, this becomes detrimental to him. He has to get right somewhere. This isn't like you send him down and you're never going to see him again. You send him down and you hope the dude can figure something out versus some worse pitching. Like you can't, I don't care how good defensively you are. You can't be a sub 500 OPS, sub 200 batter, sub 220 on base guy. You just can't, because it affected the game last night. And I saw a tweet from David Murphy that I actually agreed with. And again, he's not a Rojas hater. He's just observing. Brandon Marsh got the opportunity to bat late in the game, bases loaded versus a lefty, which is good. Brandon Marsh should get that opportunity. He's a full-time player.
He should.
He's taking full strides.
Yes.
I have no problem with letting him bat there. But Topper of old probably wants Alec Boehm pinch hitting there. Alec Boehm led the team with runners in scoring position last year. It's a righty on a righty probably since he makes a move at that point. Regardless, he probably would have preferred Boehm there with 2 outs than Brandon Marsh, but he had to save Boehm in case Rojas was out.
Right, and that's what he was.
And I think Topper made the right decision there because I'd rather have Marsh and Boehm than Boehm and potentially Rojas. So, yes, it's the 9-hole hitter, and I'm getting really, really sick of the excuse of, if you're relying on your 9-hole hitter, then you have bigger issues. Yes, we're aware. Trey Turner, Nick Castellanos, some of these guys are going to come around. They have a body of work that tells you they're going to come around. Johan Rojas does not. So, like, while, yes, it's your 9-hole hitter, and for 100 years, pitchers batted there, it's a different game now. And Kyle Schwarber at the leadoff kind of needs the bottom of the order to do some damage, to create some RBI damage from him being the leadoff hitter. So, like, I think 2 weeks is fair because this kid is struggling. 19 at-bats. He hasn't even put a ball out of the infield yet. Yeah. I'm not asking him to be a 300 hitter. Hell, I would take 215 right now. He's got to drive a ball. He's got to be able to hit a pop fly. He has to do something. And at some point, for the sake of Johan Rojas, you're going to have to send him down if he doesn't figure this out in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I think that's fair. And I'm not being a Rojas hater or anything like that. You just can't have an automatic out at the bottom of the order with Kyle Schwarber behind you. You just can't. I'm sorry. So, like, me, mentally, if I'm Dave Dombrowski, because you believed in this kid so much that your offseason was built around him being the everyday center fielder, which is fine.
Yeah.
You can't go on like this forever. You can't. We talked about, who was it that you did the comp of a couple weeks ago, Tyler, that was DFA'd?
It was Miles Straw.
Miles Straw.
He literally got DFA'd like that night.
The idea of a defensive wizard in the outfield is not new to baseball. These guys exist all the time. Hell, Christian Pache was one of them a few years ago. And they're part of the reason why the Phillies took a chance on him. Defensive wizards that can't contribute offensively is a tale as old as time in baseball. So just because the kid is possibly the best center fielder in the game, it can only take you so far. So I hope he figures it out, but they're going to have some serious conversations coming up on this kid if he can't improve quickly.
Yeah. Listen, I think the writing is on the wall for Johan Rojas, and it'll be at that point that'll have given him 3 weeks total, essentially. The thing is,
2 more. Well, yeah, 3.
Like we're 6. Yeah. I mean, not exactly, but you know what I mean? Like he would have had a few weeks now to show.
Maybe I should say 50 at bats is a safer way of saying.
So
2
that's where, as we all know, it is only 6 games in. No one's trying to say like ship him off now because it is such a small sample size. But to your point, if he continues at this pace and continues to struggle, how long until you pull the plug and make a decision and move him down? Because at the end, there are several reasons here, and I'm a big Yoro fan, obviously, but Yoro's got to go if Yoro's is a no.
Well,
okay, because listen,
and
it's not even just about him, but you think about for the team, as much as we exactly as you mentioned, all understand your 9-hole hitter should not make or break your team if everybody else is doing their part. But on the reverse side of that, what about when your team is already struggling as it is, or either way, struggling as it is, giving good at bats, but now you get to the bottom of the batting order and it's like, this is a guaranteed out. It just forces you to have to almost, nobody's going to be thinking that way. Like, these are grown men, but like naturally, if you have, oh, great, next we've got Bryce. Next we've got JT. Okay, Alex coming up. Nick's, once he gets going, Nick's coming up. And then every time Yoro steps up, it's like a deflating feeling, and it's not good for him or the team.
No.
It doesn't help anybody because now he has no confidence. He's overthinking it. He doesn't want to be there. He's going up to the plate, and with every at-bat that he struggles, it snowballs. And there goes his confidence, and there goes his play. And then on the reverse side for his team, his teammates, now the Phillies, every time you hear his music and Yoro's up to bat, it's like, hold your breath. Well, how will we get out of this now? Like, you want to have faith, you want to have excitement, you want to have the music drop, and everybody's like, yes, it's Bryson Stott, it's Kyle Schwarber, it's Yoro. You don't have that with Johan.
He can't catch up to a fastball right now.
Right, and so I think
he looks like dog
it just
shit
doesn't help anybody.
Let's call it
the team is already struggling, but if you at least had a Christian Pache or whoever, Whit Merrifield.
I would make Brandon Marsh the center fielder, and I would platoon Pache
and you
Whit
have
Merrifield,
options. You're not stuck.
I would call Cody Clemens up. Somebody in the chat said,
there's no reason to force Johan Rojas.
Who are you calling up? I think Cody Clemens earned it this spring.
Yes.
I think he's had a good start for Lehigh. Like, I'm just going to call him up, and I say, Christian Pache, Whit Merrifield, you guys are my primary left fielders. Brandon, you're going back to center. And
you can't have
we have to have Johan hit a fastball. Like,
you can't have a guaranteed out.
No.
Like you can't have somebody in your batting order.
It's not
as
even
you
like
talk
he's
about,
driving the ball. Like just a blooper out of the infield,
Right.
a shot to the gap, a single down the line, something. There's nothing right now.
Yeah.
Nothing. No
and
pulse.
His defense is not worth that because, great, he's a Gold Glove caliber center fielder, but does it matter if every time he's at bat, he looks like a deer in the headlights?
And look, he's a great defensive player, but Brandon Marsh and Christian Pache are pretty good too.
They are.
So it's not like you're going to go
him.
worlds of difference worse. Like, they're both competent center fielders.
I do always feel like when somebody shows you where they are talent-wise and they, consistently are delivering at that level, good or bad, you got to believe them. Okay, Johan Rojas, if this does continue for a couple more weeks, or as you mentioned, maybe it's 50 at-bats, whatever the mile marker is, you have to take that for what it is, and you can't keep holding on for the potential and the what-ifs and the hypotheticals. I don't live in that world. So if Johan Rojas continues to show us he cannot give good at-bats, then unfortunately that tough conversation has to happen. Johan Rojas, you need to move down, work on your at-bats, get consistent, be able to give something, and then we'll reevaluate later on in the season. It is a long season. It's not a guaranteed, no, you'll never be back up, but it might mean not yet.
And Cody Clemens gives you a lefty
and you have other
on
options.
top of it.
Right,
so, you don't have any lefties on the bench. So Cody Clemens, look, he's not going to, save the season, but he's competent, and he's left-handed. He can give Bryce a day off. He can play left field if needed. I just think it improves the club.
And I wouldn't mind also, even on the reverse side, for someone like Cody Clemens. I know Slem is saying in the chat, Clemens is deserving. He's been showing well. Give him a chance. That's why you have the pipeline to have the ability to move guys up and down. If Johan Rojas shows you consistently he's not doing well, move him down and bring up somebody else that's been working their butt off and showing that they can contribute. I'd rather take that risk on somebody else if we are now 3 weeks into the season and Johan Rojas is still struggling and flailing at the plate. So as you guys are talking through, keep in mind now looking ahead, there's quite a schedule that lies ahead for the Phillies. Obviously, taking on the Nationals tomorrow, Nationals Park, 6:45. That game's supposed to be getting started, but it's going to be quite a stretch for the Phillies. Now, look, this was, I believe, tied. I read this on NBC Sports. They were talking about this. So after the Phillies play the Marlins the last day of June, they'll have played 46 games at Citizens Bank Park. That leaves just 34 more over the final 3 months of the season. They have a lot of home games in the early parts of the season. I actually sometimes think when you're struggling, it's better to go on the road, work those kinks out, and then get back home when you're rolling a little bit more. But either way, doesn't matter. A lot of home games in the front part of their season. And also, when you look, as we know, the Phillies have consistently done well at home over the last seasons. But also a lot of these games are against teams that did not play in the playoffs last year. You got to take advantage of
these shit-ass teams.
This is going to be a stretch that from now through May 6th, they will have 33 straight games against 9 teams that did not play in the playoffs last year, 7 of which had losing records in 2023. So a huge opportunity for the next month when you have 33 games against teams you should beat. You should be able to get now, as we talk about that confidence, get someone like Nick Castellanos out of this slump. The next stretch of this season should be that opportunity, that get right, bounce back, get going, Jamie, type of a stretch.
Yeah, the Washington Nationals suck. Take advantage of it. Seriously, I mean, this is a cake start. And you talked about, Rob and everybody talked about how important it was to get off to a hot start. They want to compete for the division. Well, you've been gifted a pretty cake schedule on a silver platter for the first month of the year. Look, the Braves are really good. We know that. Cincy's a team that's going to be a pain in the ass. May or may not, scratch that playoff level. They're feisty. I can accept what happened. Some of these teams coming up, you gotta pounce. You gotta win series. You gotta stack series wins here coming up. And no better place to start than with the shit ass Nats.
Yep, and hopefully this is the chance for them to get the bats going, but also the bullpen. I know there was a piece put out. Major League Baseball was talking about one area for each team that's a takeaway from the first week of the season. And for the Phillies, it was the fact that a few games doesn't make a season. Specifically looking at the Phillies bullpen, which, as we know, Fangraphs had projected, as well as Major League Baseball, to be the best across the league. Naturally, of course, the bullpen has not been the best across the league, and they have struggled. 9 runs alone on opening day, as we know. So the thing that was in the piece that they were talking about is, of course, the bullpen has struggled. They've imploded. in, the early start to the season, but you've got the ability. You have Orion Kirkering back April 9th. Hopefully that stays the same. Obviously, Jose, Jeff, Matt, you know what you're going to get from them. You've got Sir Anthony and Gregory. So once Kirkering gets back, this also should be a chance for the bullpen to get right as well.
Again, I like Orion Kirkering, and I hope he's great. They're putting a lot of faith in this kid.
So much.
It's a big spot because if Sir Anthony can't figure it out, your top bullpen in baseball and expected, F4 is probably not going to be the top bullpen in baseball in F4 at the end of the year. So, again, much like they put a ton of stock in Johan Rojas, they're putting a ton
makes me nervous.
of eggs in the Orion Kirkering basket. I like him. His sweeper's nasty. He has not yet proven it consistently at a major league level. If he doesn't, it's totally fair to look at this front office and go, you guys misread this offseason.
Yeah. Because
another arm should have been brought in. Some kind of veteran reliever type. Is Brad Hand still available? Go sign him. Just in case it's an insurance policy. You did it with Witt, and Witt's already, that insurance policy has already paid off for you. I know he's not producing, but the fact that he's played this much, imagine if they didn't have him.
Mm-hmm.
In your first 6 games, I think he's played 4 times already, because Bryce, was out a game and stopped. So just insurance policies are good on baseball rosters.
Yeah. I definitely don't love putting all the pressure on somebody. As even you were talking about with Johan, it's the same thing with Orion that we haven't seen.
He pitched 8 games.
We haven't seen anything from.
And they're assuming he's just going to take over 75, 80 innings. No problem. It's I hope you're right. I do. I'm a Phillies fan. I want you to be right. But that's a big leap of faith.
It is a big leap. It is a very big leap.
I'm kind of in a bitter mood today.
I can tell. You are. I know Hypothetical Man saying that everyone's some Debbie Downers today. So are you, Jamie. You're definitely being a little Debbie
I'm sorry.
A Debbie Downer.
I don't think the season's over. It's 6 games. They're going to be fine. The offense is going to come around. The starting pitching's been tremendous.
It has been.
But I look at Johan Rojas and I go, man, okay.
Yeah.
You can't give him that much more time.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry I'm down on Johan Rojas today, Spiral out.
I think so Randy brought this up earlier, saying that there's, it's 6 games. You can't extrapolate from 6 games. I think
that's fair.
There's a difference between a totality statement and extrapolating from 6 games on a player whose sample size may be a little bit smaller, or if you're saying in a grand scheme of the bullpen, the blah, blah. If you're saying these things in totality, I agree with you. I think the one that I feel is a fair discussing point is Nick Castellanos' chase rate and his whiff rate on breaking balls, especially down and away. We've seen that over the course of 2 years now.
You don't have another option there.
No, I'm not. Right. Listen, I'm not saying to make a move. I'm saying that this is something that that in particular, that one individual conversation has merit to it because you've seen a track record of him kind of flailing at, especially breaking balls down and away, especially early in the count, 0-0, 1-0 type stuff. And that's why I said to you guys earlier, I would never throw him a fastball in the zone again. So I think that you have to be able to separate this year, 6 games, correct. Totally agree.
Yeah.
This is not a panic situation. They started slow last year. They went to the NLCS. They started slow 2 years ago. They went to the World Series. Do you want to make a habit out of that? No, you don't. But these things have a way of rectifying themselves. The Pirates are 5-1 right now. Do I expect them to play 800 baseball the rest of the way? Absolutely not.
O'Neal Cruz, Brian Reynolds. So I think get excited.
You have to be able to accept the two. Or you have to be able to separate the two between a justifiable worry with a history of this being a thing versus a 6-game sample size and not diving too deeply into it.
Do you think my 50 at-bats is a fair sample size for Johan Rojas?
Mine was closer to 75 to 100, but I also understand that over the course of 6 games, he's at 15 at-bats. To get to 100, he's going to need 40 some odd games.
I think that's too long.
And I think a lot of people would disagree with me that that's okay.
So 50 you kind of think is almost fair.
No, I think it's on the short side.
Well, yeah, sure, but If he hasn't driven a ball out of the infield in 50 at-bats, you have your answer.
Well, I mean, you're very specific in that regard. Like,
that's a major thing.
It's so I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's not, but
you can't survive on infield singles.
No, I'm not saying that you can. What I'm saying is that you're looking at one very specific thing to determine if he's playing well or not. If he does, let's say he runs out 6 straight infield hits. And
it's not going to make me feel a world better. That should be a compliment to his competent batting.
Don't come back in May and say, well, he's hitting 240, so everything's okay. If you have to stick with this theme then.
He needs to drive the ball out of the infield at some point.
That's fine. I don't disagree.
He needs to be able to hit a pop fly in a sack run situation. He needs to be able to work a count and get a couple walks. He's incapable of all of those things right now. That's a concern. So I think 50 at-bats is fine.
Let us know in the chat your at-bats. I know Randy's saying 80 at-bats is a number.
The walk thing is never going to happen.
He needs one walk every 15 at-bats.
And the reason I say that is because
he got one in the Braves series.
They're not going to pitch around him. That because they don't fear him.
Spencer Strider walked him. It is possible.
Sure, I'm not saying it's not. What I'm saying is they're not.
I'm not asking for the world.
They're not nibbling around him in counts.
But he also needs to take balls.
Well, yeah. I mean, the approach is different than the number on that regard.
Sure.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I know in the chat we're seeing
by accident you should be able to get a fly ball to the outfield. That's all I'm asking for.
Right. I know Ray is saying that he agrees you'll totally be able to see by 50 at-bats, what he's capable of. Hypothetical Man saying he agrees with Tyler. I know some others. K-Reg is saying 75 is your – I know you and Randy are around that 75, 80 mark.
That's fine.
I do think you have to have an idea of
30 at-bats more is what Tyler and some of the –
I think
so that's – let's see how many games. 20 at-bats in 6 games. So to get to 30, that's almost 2 more weeks of baseball, calendar baseball.
Ultimately, there needs to be something measurable that you can look at and to be able to evaluate after
just drive it.
50 to 75 to 100 at-bats, whatever that number is he capable of staying here or does he need to go and move down?
Yeah, and it's not a death sentence.
No,
you're going to go work and try to improve.
There is the concern because even Hypothetical Man was saying, if he moves down, he's not going back up. You never know.
I don't know about that.
You don't know. I mean, listen, we just had your guy DB, who made his return back. It's been several years before Pinto returned back. Who knows what the timeline is, but you want to make sure whenever he is able to be an everyday major leaguer, he's able to contribute.
Did you see who came up big for Dickie Beans? Adorable Ranger.
I know.
Ranger offered his apartment to him.
I didn't see that part.
Yes, he stayed with him.
Oh.
Yeah, they're old friends.
How do you feel that Dickie Beans?
So Dickie Beans is actually older than Ranger, but I think they played, was it the Venezuelan team, Tiger? Or Tyler? Tiger. Hey, Tiger. Tyler. Am I right there? It's Venezuela? Anyway, they're old friends. And he said he came into town the other night. He didn't have a hotel or anything. And he said, he's my best friend. I got him. He's staying at his apartment. Aww. So Ranger and Dickie Beans.
Correct. Venezuela.
Yeah. Ranger and Dickie Beans.
So
good buds.
Cute.
He said he's like my little brother, even though he's older. That's what Ranger said.
Oh,
how cute.
I love that.
Love that Ranger.
That's your guy.
Yeah.
Look at Range. And I know Crowley X26 or K Raleigh is saying you would send Ranger down now.
No, I think 50 at bats is fair.
The team is struggling. No time to be experimenting.
six games is too short of a sample size. Yeah. Let me make that clear.
That part I do agree with.
I think the earliest
it's impulsive, in my opinion. It's not enough to really tell.
I wouldn't even be bringing it up if he had driven a line drive to left field or had a single down the right field line. Something that's gotten out of the infield to give you a little bit of faith.
Yeah,
that's why I think 50 at bats is fair. So that's my stance, and I'll take that one to the grave.
Oh boy,
you all can sue me.
Oh my, wow, things just got a little harsher there. All right, well, there's been some other exciting things going on around the league.
Can I sue a dead person?
It's been great. It's been
That's a good point. Yes,
great
I think
to see how teams are getting started this season, even though the Phillies are not off to a hot start themselves. Rhys Hoskins got his first home run in Milwaukee. So did Jackson Chourio, became the youngest Brewer since '88 to hit a homer. At 20 years old and 23 days, he became the youngest in Sheffield back in '88. And then also we saw the Orioles talent. It's very, very talented AAA squad. Oh my gosh. Well, they're hitting balls.
I mean, the one kid, what's his name, Tyler?
Heston Kierstead.
What's that?
Heston Kierstead?
Yes, 10 RBIs last night. They put up, was the final 26
to 11.
26 to 11.
10
Jackson
RBIs,
Holiday should be in Major League
3
Baseball.
home run game.
Like the Orioles need to make a trade. You need to get Jackson Holiday up. But the Orioles AAA team could probably give the Phillies a pretty good game right now.
That's so sad, but it's so true.
They're pretty talented.
Yeah, they've got 3 overall number ones amongst a dozen top 100 prospects. So lots to keep an eye on. It is only 6 games in for the Phillies. It is a huge stretch of them coming up, as we talked about, with having 26 games in the next 27 days. Over the next 33 games, it's going to be teams that they should be able to beat and get rolling, get feeling good, get the at-bats clicking, get out of this slump, let's get some good weather, let's get some good results, let's get some good baseball, bullpen, everything coming around, because at 33 games playing against teams that were not in the playoffs last year, 7 of which had losing records, this should be the Phillies' time to shine. So we'll continue unpacking how they're kicking off the season, and tomorrow we will have a post-game show for you guys. So we will be following the game versus the Nationals, having our first post-game show of the week. Of course, we were supposed to have one yesterday, but Mother Nature changed our plans. And so tomorrow, instead of our usual 11 o'clock start, you guys expect to tune in with us. As soon as the game is over, we'll be right here live unpacking, hopefully, a nice Phillies win. So for Tyler Zulli, Jamie Lynch, myself, Renee Washington, thank you all so much for tuning in. Kay Raleigh, Randy, Barbara, Chris, Kim, Darth Pooh, Hypothetical Man, Red. So many friends in there, too many to even name. We appreciate every single one of you for joining us. Spiral Out, Mickey, Chris. Have a fantastic rest of your Thursday. We've got no Phillies baseball to watch today, so enjoy this sunny day.
I'm taking my wife on a date night.
Date night,
I'm
okay.
excited, yeah.
Very nice.
Well, David, you know David Sedaris? Author/comedian.
Yeah.
One of my wife's favorites. So that was a Christmas gift.
There you go.
So we're going out for a dinner, some drinks, and a little performance.
Wow. A child-free night for you two.
Yeah. Thanks to my mom. Shout out. Best babysitter around.
Oh, there you go.
So, because who can afford babysitters
So
anymore?
Jamie's taking PTO tomorrow.
No, you know me.
I'll
just show up puking in a trash can if I have to. I'll be here.
I mean, you don't have to do all that.
No, I've pretty much got my drinking under control.
Me and Renee can take the show if you're puking in a trash can.
We also aren't doing anything until post game, so I would hope you're good by then.
If I'm not good by 9:30 tomorrow night, that's a problem. That's a big issue.
You're going way. You must be drinking 4 Locos or something.
And by the way, we'll have a cocktail
there's
club
a throwback.
Coming out later today or tomorrow. I don't know, one of those times. So
yes.
Be on the lookout for that.
We do have a cocktail club dropping tomorrow, because we are typically every Friday bringing you guys a new recipe. You can check out a Phillies inspired one for you that you can enjoy at home with some simple ingredients from our bartender, Jaime. So Seth, Mickey, Darth Pooh, everybody, Mopar. I'm trying to make sure I hit on as many names as possible. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, hanging out with us. Jonathan, Mike, Matt Deckard. Have a great Thursday. Hopefully you all have some fun plans in store as well. Can't wait to hear all the great things you did on your Phillies day off. And we'll see you back tomorrow for a post-game show. Bye.
We all silly like the mayor.